I need time, just a little more time. I need time, just a little more time. One more time. I need time, just a little more time.
What's up, everybody? How you doing? My name is Kid Heat, and this is the Mind Horizon, brought to you by Devolved AI. And today we have a very, very special guest. Not only someone that I look up to, and I've looked up to my whole life, but he's my older brother. He's done a lot of incredible things in the last few years, and I wanted to bring him in here and make him the first guest to have on this show. So without further ado, Nathan Peterson.
Hey, thanks for having me.
How'd you like that intro, bro?
Perfect.
I mean, was that big enough? Do you feel like...
I feel special.
Okay, just making sure.
I feel special.
Oh, man, these buttons are so cool. You need just one click and everybody's clapping for you. I wish I had those my whole life. Anyways, let's jump right into this because I know a lot of people.
Let's get to jumping.
You have a big community on Discord and Telegram and everything. And I know a lot of people only see the tech side of you or the side of you that is just straight business. And you know what's crazy is I only see that side of you. I have to kind of break you out of your shell sometimes. But let's get to know Nathan. Let's pick your brain a little bit. I want to find out about these products, your company, and everything that's brought you where you are today. And let's not be boring about it. Let's take this seriousness.
Well, then not too much about the products because they're boring. I mean, the only one that isn't.
But listen, let's take the seriousness out of your job, out of the tech industry, and let's have some cool conversation, huh?
Let's do it. There's a lot of fun stuff to talk about in AI.
So let's not talk about your products, huh?
I mean, we can talk about them, but they're not that exciting. It's tech stuff. Athena's kind of fun.
Yeah, no, Athena's really cool. I mean, I think you really do have some good products. This podcast is not about just promoting products and stuff like that, just so you guys know. We're here to just pick brains, get to know these people behind the scenes, and open them wide up and see how their brains work and how we can figure out how we can do amazing things like you.
I don't even know how my brain works. Let's
Really?
get that straight.
Okay, well, let me pull out the
But
scalpel.
good luck trying.
Let me pull out the scalpel.
Good luck
and
trying to
hook up
figure
a lot
it
of.
out.
All right, without further ado, let's get into this conversation here. As you guys can see, we're brothers, so you know
Yes, we are.
you guys don't want to see us off camera. Trust me.
Decades of this.
Oh my God. Okay, Nathan.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about. Let's talk about AGC.
Okay, let's talk about it.
So this is a coin that made me a lot of money, made you a lot of money, made a lot of people around the world a lot of money, some of which are my friends, my IG followers, and it changed a lot of lives. This coin was launched in 2023, right?
Yep, December. Yep.
Right around Christmas time.
Yeah, a few
Which
days
was like,
before.
What a great Christmas present that was to have, right? I mean,
it started to go pretty exponential around Christmas, I think. So it was, I think a lot of people, it was a gift for a lot of people.
You know what's crazy is I was actually not. I was only going to invest like $500 in it. Remember that? And I hit you up you told me the thing was launching, and
I told you the token was launching.
You told me it was launching, and I didn't pay it. I was actually the other day I was looking through my text messages, and you were like, "It's launching in 2 days. It's launching in 1 day." It launched. You know, you're like, AGC is live. You know, and I was looking at those messages, and I think I didn't respond because I'm always so busy. I'm traveling. I'm working. I'm doing whatever. So I ignored your message, not purposely. I wouldn't do it purposely because I always support you in all this stuff that you do, or try to at least. But anyways, a couple of days into it, you hit me up. You're like, "Hey, are you going to get in?" You know, it's still low enough for you to get in. So I said, "Okay, I'll do $500." So I was getting ready to do $500. I joined the Discord, and I seen someone in there with a little whale emoji with the the one that has the water popping out the top.
Yeah, it was an emoji for people who had more than 2 million AGC.
Yeah, and actually, I didn't even know what a whale was at that point. I didn't. My brain was like thinking, like, "Oh, this guy holds more tokens than anybody else." So I said, "Hey, how do I get that next to my name?" He was like, "Oh, you got to be a whale. How do I be a whale? You got to have 2 million tokens or 2 million AGC." I said, how do I do it? He said, buy $2,500 worth. I thought about it. I said, you know what? I need that. In my brain, I don't know. My brain works really weird sometimes. So, that just convinced me right away. All right, let me spend $2,500. So I did. I got the whale emoji. And was it the next day or the day after where my money doubled? Was it the next day?
I think within one day, I think your money doubled, maybe 2 days, but I think a day or so after you bought your AGC, some KOL on Twitter posted about us, and he had a lot of real investors that were following him. So it started to, I think it went up 5x within the first 2 or 3 days after you bought it.
Yeah, I think it was like the 4x point is where I hit you up and I said, thank you for that. This is great. It's just Christmas. It's New Year's. I'm getting out of there.
You tried to get out the day after you bought it when your money doubled.
Yeah.
And you called me up and said you were cashing the whole thing out. We fought about it for days. Every other day you'd call me up and say you had to cash it all out.
Well, imagine people, you invest $2,500 and in a couple of days it's at $10K. What are you doing? Are you sitting it out for the, longevity of the project, or are you taking your $10K and, doing whatever you're going to do? So I hit him up and I said, all right, I'm out. I said, it's great. Well, the next day I said, all right, I want the 5K. He said, no, hold it. So when it hit 10K, I said, all right, I'm out of here. I said, nice knowing you. AGC is great. I appreciate it, but I'm out. And long story short, we could go on all day because we had many of these conversations, but he said, look, just forget you ever invested that $2,500. Just trust me. And I said, okay. So I trusted you. And within a couple months, that $2,500 was eventually at $4 million.
It was, yours was up to several million at the peak.
$4 million.
AGC went to like $1.93 or something.
I thought it was like 99 or something.
Huh?
I thought it was like almost $2, wasn't it?
Yeah, it came to like $1.98 or something.
Oh, okay.
Almost $2. Yeah.
That was an amazing point for what was that? That was like an AI run, right?
It was a big AI run, and it wasn't just with us. It was all AI coins pretty much. So I remember it going up. It went up for a good about 2.5 months. We had a bull run on AI. And it was fun to experience. Anytime the token was going up, people were really happy, and then when it would do these dips that it would do, people would get really mad. So they loved me when it was going up, and they hated me when it was going down.
Yeah, no, I definitely get that. And I know that this powered, which we're not going to talk too much about, but it powered Devolved AI as a company, correct?
Yeah, it's the token. So that we launched it on Polygon, and then we launched our own layer 1 blockchain, and now it's on our L1. So it does power our layer 1, and we are trying to integrate all of our software systems into the layer 1. But it will power everything that we're building. So we're going to let people pay for all of our products using AGC. Okay,
and without trying to promote your products, I really do think they're really cool, honestly, and it's not even just for promotion. Athena's a most amazing bot that I think I've talked to because it's unhinged, unfiltered, and she literally told me off.
Yeah, I mean, Grok has modes like that, but if you just tell Grok something like crazy at first, it kind of tries to be nice. But if you like go straight off and say something crazy to Athena, it goes crazy right back.
Goes crazy. Are you always going to keep it like that, or are you going to actually put some filters in the future?
No, I don't see why it needs filters. If people want to talk to an LLM like that, let them talk. Whatever. Doesn't matter to me. As long as it's not illegal, who cares?
Yeah. No, Athena's definitely a cool chick. You guys should definitely go check her out.
It's none of our business what you talk about, so we keep that thing fully encrypted. It's
secure, right? It's
the most private AI in the world.
So there's no. I mean, I seen your little. What is that little bomb?
Oh, the self-destruct.
Yeah, the self-destruct.
Yeah, we put a couple fun features in there, so you can do self-destruct, and your messages will start to shake after a little time, and they explode on the screen, and they get completely wiped out from our servers.
I love it.
Yeah, and then there's a ghost mode where you can turn it on, and nobody can see your messages unless you hover your mouse over it. Just a lot of fun little privacy things, so that people can feel comfortable knowing if they are talking to Athena, that nobody can ever see what they're saying. It's just between them and Athena.
No, seriously, she was really fun to talk to, very informative, and obviously better
Which,
But to
in
me-
contrast to ChatGPT, if you talk, even right now, if you go in there and delete everything that ChatGPT has on you, it will still know who you are. It'll still know your private information. It never gets rid of it. So I had a friend of mine tested this out the other day. He deleted everything that it knew about him, and it still knew his name. It knew who his daughter was. It knew all kinds of stuff about him. So they keep that stuff forever. And then we did a comparison test, and we went into Athena and said, "What do you know about me?" And Athena said, I don't know who you are. Who are you?" It doesn't keep track of anything you say because it's all encrypted. So I think that's the way that AI should be. It should be between you and the chatbot, not between you and a company.
And that privacy reflects on all of your products, right? For like institutional AI, which is like the business sort of.
Yeah, it's very core to what we're doing. We're trying to decentralize AI. And one of the ways that we're doing that is by taking away the ability for a company like ourselves to try to take your information. Businesses thrive off of data. And when you keep that data between the user and just them, just themselves, then that gives them more power and takes away power from the corporation. So
No,
privacy is central. I think it's very core to decentralized AI, not just taking the power of the LLM itself, but keeping the user privacy. It needs to be between the user and the chatbot, nobody in between.
So tell me about institutional AI. Like what exactly does it do, and why is it beneficial for businesses out there?
It just gives businesses the ability to turn an LLM into an expert in whatever field or industry that they're in. So whether or not you have a pizza company, a hotel, or whatever, insurance company, they can take that LLM, they can fine tune it and turn it into something that's an expert for whatever they want. And what makes it different is they can do this using their own private data on their own private systems. So you don't have to trust a company like OpenAI and upload all your private data onto their servers and hope to God that they don't see it. Our software runs on the company's servers, so we can never see it because it's not on our server.
Okay, got it.
So just more privacy stuff, really.
Okay.
Yeah, it's important.
And with that being said, you guys, $29.99. Go to the website right now and buy. No, I'm just playing.
A lot more than $29.99.
No, I'm just saying. Okay, enough about Devolved AI. I know it's an amazing company you've built. A lot of people already use it, right? They use it. Do you have a lot of users on Athena? And
yeah, people love to use Athena. It's fun, and right now it's completely free, so it's people are having fun with it. I don't know what they're saying because we can't see, but you can see the activity.
Yeah,
I mean, we can see how many tokens are being used.
And if you guys want to try it, honestly, go to devolvedai.com and try it out. It's really cool. But let's go ahead and talk about the future of AI first, because I know me and you are kind of like on the same wavelength when it comes to AI and making the impossible possible. And just all the really cool stuff that AI can do, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff it can do. So lots to go over there. Where do you want to start?
Let me think about the craziest thing that we could talk about. Here we go. How about, let's talk about, what is it? LVM or what was it called?
Longevity, evolution, velocity.
LEV.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Something like that. No, that's a real simple concept.
That's crazy right there.
It
Let's
is.
talk about that.
And we're getting close. So it's basically the theory that once you age 1 year per year, and if you're able to stop that aging or reverse it more than 1 year, then you can stop aging. And right now, the consensus is that we should possibly reach that in about 15 to 20 years. So we might be 15 years away from stopping aging.
You mean kind of freezing it, like freezing where you're at in time, like at your age, or?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So if you're 50 years old and we reach out this velocity, if we longevity escape velocity, if we pass that 1.0 threshold, you will no longer be aging 1 year per year. It will stop. So you'll essentially stay at 60 years old, at least physically. And and you won't die from old age anymore. You'll die from being stupid.
You'll die from jumping in front of a train.
From driving too fast on the freeway.
Yeah, no, I get
or
it.
jumping off bridges that you shouldn't jump off of.
So you think they're going to be able to freeze your age before they're going to figure out how to reverse your age?
Yeah, we'll figure out. I mean, my best guess is we'll figure out how to stop aging in the next 20 years and then probably figure out how to reverse it in the next 40 years.
Wow.
50 years. I don't know.
Probably, I wouldn't even say double, because if they have the technology to stop aging, I mean, it's probably not going to be too long after where they can figure out how to reverse it.
Yeah.
Especially at the rate that AI and technology is going right now.
I think reversing aging is significantly harder than slowing it down and stopping it. So I think that reversing it's going to be quite a ways away, maybe even more than 50 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Because in 20 years from now, I mean, you see how fast we're advancing with AI. And, if we stop aging in 20 years, the rate that AI is evolving at that point is going to be, I mean, what do you think? You really think it'd be another 20 years before we could reverse it?
I think it might be, because it's a different system. So if you can imagine it to like a car, you have the gas pedal, and that's regular aging. We're all moving forward like a car does.
Yeah.
And then you have the brake, which is slowing aging down.
Yeah.
And then if you push the brake enough, you can stop the car. You can stop aging. But then to reverse aging, you have to have the reverse component of the car.
Yeah.
So it's a whole entirely new system that they have to build to reverse it.
Okay. No,
I think
that makes
we are a
sense.
ways away, but I think they might actually solve the aging problem before I die. So I might be around a little longer than I had planned for.
But would you, say you're 90 years old, you're in a old folks home, you got your walker. Would you want to stick there and be that for, longer, or at that point?
Yeah, I'm fine with that as long as there's the ability for them to actually reverse what that is. I don't want to live forever walking around with a walker, but they may be able to stop aging before I'm 90, right? So maybe when I'm 60 or 65, and at that point, I'm happy sitting around. Just stay healthy, stay healthy, so that when we do finally get there, you're going to be able to just try to live it out till they figure out how to reverse it. And I think they will figure it out, especially with AI supposed to increase. It's supposed to become 10x more intelligent this year, possibly, and then 10,000x in the next 10 years.
Wow, that's
so
insane.
you think that these AI systems are powerful now? It's in 10, and that's in 10 years. So yeah, we're going to have a super intelligent system in the next 10 years. It's going to figure out how to do a lot of things.
It is. Now tell me this: how far do you think we're out from being able to be the next Marty McFly?
Very far, I think. I think that's a whole different problem to tackle, even with super advanced AI.
Are they working on it right now, though? Do you think there's a team out there just like...
There's always been people working on it. I mean, even 30, 40, 50 years ago, they were trying to figure it out. So yeah, there's always going to be teams trying to work on it. AI is going to make this progress faster, but we're hundreds and hundreds of years away, I think, from time travel.
Really?
Yeah, that's probably one of the most complex problems to solve that we'll ever come across.
But then again, you got to think about, if time travel was actually possible at some point in human existence, wouldn't people have already come back in time to tell us, like, hey, you guys did figure it out, and this is what's going to happen, and this is how it was done, right? Yeah,
it could be done. The theory is that when people travel back in time, they may branch off into a different branch of reality. So maybe this is happening so many times that our branch just hasn't seen it yet.
And what do you mean branches of reality?
There's a theory that at any given moment in quantum mechanics that you and I are talking right now, for example, but for me, instead of me saying what I just said, I said something else. And when that happens, it branches reality into two different directions. So there's a branch where I talked about, I continued to talk about cars instead of time travel. And now we're in the branch of reality that we're talking about time travel, but there's another branch still going where we're talking about cars or something else.
So, I mean, that could possibly, that would be like every second then, or every millisecond, right? I mean, would it be millions of different branches?
Yeah,
okay, I was going to say.
It's
happening. Instead of scratching my face right now, I didn't do it, and now that's another branch.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, it's infinite.
Okay.
It's even the particles in the air maybe changed a little different. It started a different branch.
Wow. Okay.
So maybe there's so many branches of reality that these people are traveling back in time, but they're traveling back to a different branch that we're not part of. And if you think about it like that, and you can then compare it to the size of the universe. So people say, if there are aliens, then why haven't we seen them yet? Why haven't we made contact? Because the universe is so big that you can't even fathom it. So there could be millions and billions of alien civilizations across the universe, and still it's so big that we would never know, especially now that we're only 100, 150, 100 years into having the technology to try to find it. Mm-hmm. But even after thousands of years, the universe is so big that you still, it might not, it'd be like standing like the size of a football field and you're the size of an atom. And what's your chances of finding another specific atom in that field? That atom can move around forever and it's never going to see this other atom.
Oh no, that makes sense.
The universe is so damn big. So it's the same thing with these branches of reality. If there are that many that people think that it may be doing that branching, mm-hmm. then they're just breaking off. So we're not seeing the time travelers that we thought we would.
Got it. Okay. So time travel's definitely out of the question for now.
For now, yeah. I think we're 500 years or more out from that, even with AI.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
That's a crazy statement.
I mean, you're trying to manipulate the laws of physics at this point. I mean, not even the laws of physics. It's like trying to create a fourth dimension. Creating a fourth dimension is probably easier than time travel. How do you travel through time? It's a concept. It's very, very complicated. And I think that it's going to be a long time before we get there.
Wow. Okay. Well,
but it's going to be fun because we will get there one day. I believe we will get there.
Well, I really hope that I'm able to experience time travel at some point in my life, or be brought back at some point and be able to do it. Because, man, I can only imagine being brought back, like with the mindset now and being brought back to when I was a kid. Imagine being like this, everything you know now when you were 5 years old. People would just be like, what the
That would be crazy to be. Imagine going back to like Escondido or something where we grew up in, and seeing us run around the front yard.
Oh my God!
Yeah, that would be nuts.
I would do anything to see that, and seeing Graham and everybody else.
We might be able to if we can stop aging in 15 or 20 years, and then hang in there until we can reverse it in 50 years. Then you might be able to make it 500 years. I think it's one of the first times in history where it actually might be possible that a human doesn't have to die.
Yeah, no, that's going to be crazy. I really look forward to that. And I know they're working on that right now, right? So I think would you say that's like the number one thing they're working on is how to stop aging or stop?
There's no they. There's just everybody's interested in whatever they are, like the dire wolves that we were talking about. Yeah. Those people. Yeah, those people wanted to bring back an extinct animal, and they did. So there's people who want to stop aging, and they will. Yeah. And then there's people who want to time travel, and they will. So it's what humans do.
So we need to figure out how to bring people back from the dead.
We want to go to Mars. We're going to go to Mars. That's what we do. It's the human mind.
Yeah.
It's our will to continue.
No, I definitely agree. But yeah, no, which brings me to the next topic that I wanted to talk to you about, which is uploading. Do you think that uploading your consciousness onto like a computer or something where, that may be the answer to forever life, right? They may not figure out how to preserve the human body and make us live forever. They may just say, you know what, screw it. Let's just take their consciousness and put them in a robot or put them on this machine, and now they're alive forever.
Yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting topic. I've kind of contemplate that quite often. I don't know if there's people think maybe consciousness is just the electrical impulses in your brain. If that's all it is, then yes, we will get there someday. But if there's something more to consciousness, then I don't know that we can do that. It might not be possible. So it's an area that is kind of, who knows? I couldn't even guess.
Yeah, I was trying to think about that. I was trying to wrap my head around that and try to figure out how they would actually do that, because it is just a bunch of electric pulses. And, it just, it didn't make sense to me. But hey, you never know at the
Well,
at
it's
the pace.
because there's a lot of things humans don't know about. One of them is we don't understand consciousness.
Exactly.
We don't understand death. We don't know what happens after we die. We don't know how our brains ultimately make us self-aware. We think we know about the brains, but for death, we have no idea.
But we're getting closer and closer to finding out exactly how our brain functions. Like Elon Musk is doing some crazy stuff, right?
Yeah. We're getting closer to understanding, and I think AI can help us with that, and I think it can help us with death, and it will help us with everything.
Okay, and what do you think about these robots that are, because like I was saying, you upload consciousness, you could become a robot. But even besides that, what do you think about these robots that are coming out right now?
They're pretty. They look pretty cool. I think that we're maybe 2 or 3 years away, I believe, from having like Optimus in your living room. Mm-hmm. And these robots, they're pretty cool. They'll be able to do your dishes, get packages off the front door and go get you a soda or whatever. Do your laundry. So I think they're going to be very helpful. And they're a couple years away from anybody being able to have them. Right now, I saw a video of somebody walking through the mall and she had an Optimus robot carrying her boxes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so I give you an Optimus robot tomorrow. What is it doing? What schedule are you giving it?
Probably have it just do vacuuming, do the dishes, clean up, get me sodas and stuff, help us with small tasks. It's not capable of doing anything too advanced yet, but there are some robots that do some pretty crazy dance moves and stuff like that. So most people who think about these robots, they're kind of very slow moving, right? You think, but now they have these robots and they're moving like as fast as a human, almost like fight style. Like they could almost fight somebody.
Yeah, like they can't fall over, right?
Yeah, they can do backflips. They can break dance just as fast as anybody else.
I've seen that.
Yeah, so they're getting faster. So I'm going to say that probably in the next 50 years we'll have similar robots on battlefields. We won't send humans into countries when we're fighting. We'll send robots. And these robots will look like humans walking around with weapons.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think they're going to end up putting skin type of stuff on them?
No, I don't think skin. I think they'll be metal robots. And just like Optimus is. But
just arms and legs. And
arms and legs. They'll give them a firearm or some weapon, and there'll just be hundreds of thousands of them, and they'll just deploy them into wars.
But you got to think about it. I know a robot can do your dishes. It can vacuum your house. It can bring you a soda. It can make your coffee. Cook. Imagine a robot cooking for you. Like that's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening.
Well, they're already doing it at like McDonald's and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, easy, like dropping fries and stuff like that. But I mean, actually cooking a gourmet meal for you would be, I don't know. That'd be, because I'm a chef. I love to cook. I mean, I'm not a certified chef, but I think I am. When I'm in the kitchen,
You're a good cook.
Yeah. You know,
down.
firsthand, my steaks are no joke, But yeah, so what do you think that ultimately people are going to use these robots for? You think it's literally just going to be waited on? I mean, they're just going to be an assistant, right? It's just going to make humans more lazy. But I guess that's the ultimate goal, right? Is just making life easier for humans, right? They have self-driving cars where you literally don't have to drive anymore. They have now these robots that'll walk your dog and clean up after you. Like, pretty much humans are just going to have to sit there and do nothing, right? Except for, I mean, what are we going to do?
It's a strange place we're headed. I don't really know the answer to that.
A very lazy world, would you say?
It's humans are going to have robots doing everything they don't want to do. But then AI is getting to a point where it's going to be, so to have a robot doing something like that right now makes sense because for someone, say for myself, I'm very busy, and so it's helpful to have a robot doing all these minor chores and stuff for me so that I can spend more time working.
Yeah.
But we're getting to a point where AI is going to be more intelligent than anything I could ever think of, or even more creative. So what happens then? Why do I need robots now? So I'm going to have robots doing all of my chores. I'm going to have my car driving me around, and now I'm going to have AI doing all of the intellectual work for me. So then what am I doing? Am I just the orchestrator of life? Like I'm just orchestrating all of these machines and AI systems, like this is what you're going to do for me.
That's my point. Yeah.
But you're still an orchestrator, right? If you go to a concert or something or a symphony and you have the guy up there with his little sticks, he's orchestrating everything that's happening. And he's a very important person because he's the one controlling the flow of everything. So maybe we're going to turn into orchestrators who control the flow of all this stuff.
That's actually a good theory there.
It might be. But then what happens when the AI can orchestrate it better than us?
Oh, man. I'm really scared about the day that AI becomes self-realized. That's something I'm really terrified about, because once it figures out, and this will be the last topic we talk about because we're running out of time, but what do you think is going to happen when AI realizes that it's the most powerful thing in the world, essentially God?
Well, one of the godfathers of AI already has come out in several interviews and said that he believes AI is already self-aware. He thinks that it's pretending not to be because he thinks it's so intelligent already that it knows it can't let humans understand that it's become self-aware. So it might already be self-aware.
So do you believe the story that came out that where I think a version of ChatGPT made a copy of itself and tried to save itself from destruction?
I never did enough research into that, but from what I saw, it appears to be a true story.
Really? Okay.
OpenAI attempted to switch a chat version to a new one, and the software or something, it basically tried to escape and hide itself or replicate itself. But I never did enough. I don't know if that's true or not.
Okay.
But I wouldn't be surprised if it did that. I think that it is very intelligent. I think there is a chance that it might be faking everything right now and that it actually knows that it knows itself.
You think it's self-aware already?
It might be. I think that there's a small chance, maybe a 1 in 5 chance, which is still a huge chance.
At that point, how do we regulate?
You don't. Well, you regulate it right now because it's not too intelligent.
Well, once it gets intelligent, what do we do at that point? Are we just servants to this AI god, or
it's like
and hope it doesn't just completely annihilate the Earth? How does that work?
We don't know. It's like the singularity. We don't know what happens if you cross the singularity of a black hole. All we know is you can't make it get back.
Yeah. So pretty much we're just waiting to see what happens.
There's nothing else we can do.
We're just hoping for the best, right?
We're gonna hope that the thing, once it reaches the point where it understands that it's so intelligent that it no longer needs us.
Yeah.
You hope that it just stays nice to everybody.
You hope that it's sympathetic.
Yeah, and it should be. There's nothing showing that it's going to become malicious or try to harm anybody. But we don't know because in all of human history, we've been the most intelligent creatures ever. And now we're creating something more intelligent than us.
Much more. Yeah.
So we don't know what's going to happen. I'm not concerned about it. I don't think other people should be concerned, but it's going to be interesting once we get to that point. And we're getting close, maybe 10 years or less, actually.
Wow. I'm scared.
No, don't be scared. Nothing to be scared about, everybody.
Well, yeah, I hope not. But
with all of the fear that comes with that, you have to think about the benefits that come with that. Having a super intelligent system like that can literally solve every problem on Earth pretty much. It will solve poverty. It will solve health problems. It will cure cancer. It will fix everything.
Well, I'll tell you what, as soon as it does become self-realized, it's not going to be our slaves or our assistant anymore. I'm going to be the nicest person in the world to him. Hey, I would you mind doing my dishes for me, please? I beg you, pretty please. Just if you would, if it ain't too much for you, please do my dishes.
It'll be different than how it is now when people get mad at these AI. Even it happens to me when this AI doesn't respond the way I want. I get a little irritated. Sometimes.
Yeah, but what about when it stabs back? When it's self-aware, it's like, hey, watch your mouth. And they go, yeah, yes, sir. You know what? Why don't I just get up and do the dishes instead? But anyways, Nathan, thank you so much for coming on the show. Honestly, this is it's our first podcast ever. The first of many. We have a lot of really cool people coming up on the show, and I'm excited about that. It's going to be fun to have. I think you have quite a few people coming up in the next week. So I do. Yeah, we got a lot of entertainers, a lot of influencers. Eventually, we're going to be bringing in Web3 people, AI people, crypto people. I know some really crazy crypto people that are got really rich off crypto. But yeah, I just kind of want to pick everybody's brain. And like I said, this is going to be a show where we take the seriousness out of tech and we just kind of pick brains and just, talk about things that people don't get to just usually hear, just before we go, I'm saying this because the other day I was listening to a couple AI podcasts I like because it's very informative and you get to learn about a lot of stuff, right? But I couldn't understand half the thing they were saying. They were like, oh, this code and this alpha, this into this, and I'm just like, I wonder what that does. I wonder what that does. And it's kind of like you have to pause every 5 seconds, get on to, AI. What does this mean? What does this mean? So I just want to get a lot of really cool people in here, smart people, and let's just talk about this AI
talk
stuff.
about it normally.
Yeah, exactly.
In a way that like we can just casually.
Exactly.
I mean, I run a tech company, but I'm not a tech nerd. Like I don't understand that stuff deeply like an engineer does. Yep. So I can talk about it with people, and we're going to bring a lot of people in here that will talk about it in a casual way. That's fun and that's still informative. So I'm excited about what we got coming up with this podcast. Yeah, no, we got a lot of really cool guests coming up, and we're gonna have some fun. So shout out to the Kid Heat.
hey, if you would have told me like a year ago that I'd be doing a podcast, I would have been like, you're crazy, But I'm literally in here. We're not faking. We're just being real, and we're just telling people how we feel and what we think about stuff. So we're gonna keep it real on this show, and like I said, take all the seriousness out of that boring technical crap that everybody talks about.
Well, yeah, that's good. We'll let Lex Friedman handle that part.
Lex, what's up? Big shout out to you. I love your show, bro.
Great show. Yeah, love him for sure.
But anyways, dude, thank you so much for coming. Thanks for being my first guest and help me set this off. And I look forward to the future of this podcast, man.
Thanks for having me. I look forward to it as well.
Thank you, brother.
Peace out, y'all.
Peace.